Welcome back, ghost hunters and thrill seekers, to 101 Ghost Stories. Tonight, we take you on a chilling journey to one of Southeast Asia's most mysterious countries, Vietnam. Known for its breathtaking landscapes, rich culture, and deep-rooted traditions, Vietnam also harbors some of the world's most spine-tingling haunted locations. Before we dive into the eerie tales, I'd like to thank all our incredible subscribers for your support. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss a story. Like this video if you enjoy tales of the supernatural, and share your thoughts or personal encounters in the comments. Have you visited any of these places or live near them? We'd love to hear from you. Now let's dim the lights, draw the curtains, and explore the top 9 most haunted places in Vietnam. Let's start with number 9, a chilling villa nestled in the misty hills of Lạt. Haunted place number 9, the haunted villa, Lạt. Our countdown begins in Lạt, a picturesque hill station in southern Vietnam. Amidst its serene pine forests and cool mountain air lies a French colonial villa with a dark reputation. Built during the early 20th century, this grand yet ominous structure once housed a prominent French official. But its history is stained with tragedy. Legend has it, a forbidden love affair between the official's daughter and a local man ended in their mysterious disappearance. Some say their spirits remain bound to the villa, seeking justice or perhaps reunion. Visitors have reported seeing shadowy figures in the windows and hearing anguished cries echoing through the empty halls. One chilling account comes from a group of adventurers who dared to enter after dark. They described an overwhelming sense of dread and the unmistakable sound of footsteps following them, though no one else was there. Is this villa haunted by the couple's restless spirits or something even darker? That's for you to decide. Let's move on to another site where tragedy looms large. Haunted place number 8, Ba Chuk Tomb in Giang Province. Our next stop is Ba Chuk Tomb, a memorial in Giang Province dedicated to the victims of one of Vietnam's most horrifying massacres. In 1978, the Khmer Rouge swept through this peaceful village, slaughtering over 3,000 innocent lives. Today, the tomb holds the skeletal remains of the victims, a chilling reminder of this atrocity. But it's not just history that lingers here. Locals and visitors alike speak of ghostly apparitions wandering the site, their forms barely distinguishable in the dim light. Soft weeping can be heard at night, emanating from the tomb despite no one being there. A caretaker once recounted an eerie experience. Late one evening, as he locked the gates, he saw a figure standing by the memorial. Thinking it was a visitor, he approached, but as he got closer, the figure vanished into thin air. The spirits of Ba Chuk seemed to hold on to the pain and injustice they endured, creating an atmosphere that chills even the bravest souls. Could these be cries for peace or reminders of a past we must never forget? Stay tuned, because the tales only grow darker as we delve further into Vietnam's haunted past. Haunted place number 7, Ho Chi Minh City Museum, Ho Chi Minh City. Next, we arrive at one of Vietnam's most famous landmarks, the Ho Chi Minh City Museum. Known for its beautiful French colonial architecture and extensive exhibits, the museum tells stories of Vietnam's rich history. But beneath its cultural significance lies a much darker narrative. The building, originally the Gia Long Palace, was once a political stronghold during the French colonial era and later, the Vietnam War. It is said that prisoners were detained and tortured in its basement. To this day, rumors of restless spirits haunt its corridors. Museum staff report lights flickering inexplicably, objects shifting positions, and ghostly figures appearing in the reflection of glass displays. The basement, especially, is a hotspot for paranormal activity. One security guard, working the night shift, claimed to hear faint cries and chains rattling from below, only to find the basement entirely empty. Visitors have also described cold spots in the middle of sweltering summer days and sudden feelings of dread while walking through the exhibits. Could the museum be a crossroads for the past and the afterlife? Perhaps the spirits are unwilling to leave the stories they live behind. Haunted place number 6, to Hieu Pagoda, Hieu. Next, we travel to the historical city of Hieu, once the capital of Vietnam and home to some of the country's most revered spiritual sites. To Hieu Pagoda, nestled among the lush greenery, is one such place. Established in 1843 during the Nguyen dynasty, this pagoda has become a center of Buddhist practice and tranquility. Yet, its history hides a dark and eerie secret, one that many believe connects the living to the spirits of the past. The pagoda's peaceful reputation is overshadowed by the haunting presence of spirits, particularly those of monks who once meditated there. Local legends speak of the restless souls of these monks, who never found peace during their lifetimes and now wander the temple grounds. One particularly chilling story is that of a headless monk said to haunt the temple's gardens. This monk was allegedly executed for his political beliefs and left without a proper burial, causing his spirit to wander aimlessly in search of redemption. Visitors who claim to have seen the ghost describe a figure in traditional robes, gliding through the misty air, with no head to be seen. The image is said to be filled with sorrow and longing for the release of a soul trapped in a cycle of unrest. In addition to the sightings of the headless monk, there are reports of eerie chanting that drifts through the air, even when the temple is empty. The sound is often described as ghostly and ethereal, as if the monks' spirits are still reciting prayers long after their deaths. Some claim that the wind carries whispers, soft voices that seem to call out to visitors, adding to the unsettling atmosphere of the place. But the most unnerving tale comes from the experience of one visitor who spent a night at the pagoda. They reported hearing footsteps echoing through the halls long after the temple had closed for the evening, footsteps that grew louder and closer, only to vanish when they looked to see who was there. The air itself seemed to grow colder, as if the spirits of To Hieu Pagoda were drawing nearer. Even today, To Hieu Pagoda remains a site of pilgrimage for those seeking spiritual solace. However, many who visit also leave with a lingering sense of unease, unsure if the presence they felt was that of a monk seeking peace or something much darker. Haunted place number 5, the Côn Đảo Prisons, Côn Đảo Islands. From the streets of Hanoi, we travel to the remote Côn Đảo Islands, home to one of the darkest chapters in Vietnam's history, the Côn Đảo Prisons. Constructed during the French colonial era, these prisons were notorious for their brutal conditions and the inhumane treatment of political prisoners. The most infamous part of the complex is the tiger cages, tiny, suffocating cells where prisoners were confined and tortured. Many lives were lost here, and it is said that the anguish and suffering of those who perished left an indelible mark on the island. Today, visitors to the prisons have reported chilling experiences. Faint cries of agony, ghostly footsteps echoing through the corridors, and the sensation of being watched by unseen eyes. One particularly harrowing tale comes from a tourist who ventured into the tiger cages alone and felt an icy hand grip their arm, leaving a bruise that lasted for days. Locals believe the spirits of the prisoners remain trapped in the complex, reliving their torment. Many visitors leave offerings of incense and prayers to honor these restless souls, hoping to bring them peace. As the sun sets on the island, the oppressive silence of the prison becomes almost unbearable, and the shadows seem to take on a life of their own. It's a place where history and horror collide, a stark reminder of humanity's capacity for cruelty and the enduring echoes of those who suffered. From the sorrowful prisons of Côn Đảo, we continue our journey into Vietnam's haunted past. Stay with us as we uncover more tales of terror and mystery. Haunted place number 4, the infamous Ghost Lake, Tây Ninh. Our next chilling destination is Ghost Lake in Tây Ninh Province, a place as shrouded in mystery as it is in folklore. Known locally as Hue A or Ghost Lake, this secluded body of water has a reputation for being haunted by restless spirits. According to legend, centuries ago, a young woman drowned herself in the lake after a tragic love affair. Her spirit is said to have lingered, bound to the waters where her life ended. Over the years, others have met untimely deaths in the lake, from accidents to unexplained disappearances, further fueling the lake's haunted reputation. Visitors have reported seeing a ghostly woman in white walking along the lake's edge at dusk, her face pale and mournful before vanishing into the mist. Fishermen speak of hearing whispers and sobbing voices coming from the lake, even when no one else is around. Some have even felt an unseen force pulling their boats toward the center of the water, where they narrowly escaped capsizing. A particularly chilling account comes from a group of campers who spent the night near the lake. They described waking up to find wet footprints leading into their tents, though no one had gone swimming. One camper reported seeing a figure standing motionless in the water, staring back at him with glowing eyes. The area's eerie atmosphere is heightened by the dense forest that surrounds the lake, casting long, shadowy reflections on its surface. Whether the stories are rooted in folklore or real encounters, Ghost Lake remains a place where nature and the supernatural seem to coexist in a fragile, haunting balance. Haunted place number 3, Na Ko Tan Khai, Tan Khai Old House, Hoi An. Our journey now takes us to the heart of Hoi An, a city known for its ancient charm and cultural heritage. But among its many historic sites, none are as unnerving as the Tan Khai Old House, a 200-year-old structure that is said to be one of the most haunted places in Vietnam. Built in the late 18th century, this house has seen generations of traders and residents. However, its peaceful exterior hides a history of tragedy. Stories tell of a young maid who was falsely accused of theft and died in disgrace within the house. Her spirit, they say, never left. Visitors often report feeling an inexplicable heaviness as they step inside. Some describe seeing fleeting shadows out of the corner of their eyes or hearing the soft patter of footsteps upstairs, even when the house is empty. A more unsettling phenomenon is the scent of incense and flowers, believed to signify the presence of a spirit, wafting through the air without explanation. One visitor recounted seeing an apparition of a woman in traditional attire standing silently in the corner of the room. When he blinked, she was gone, but the air felt cold and the sense of being watched lingered. The house's antique furnishings and low-lit interiors only add to its ghostly aura. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Tan Khai Old House attracts tourists seeking both history and a brush with the supernatural. As we leave the cobblestone streets of Hoi An behind, our journey grows darker still. Prepare yourself as we delve into the top 2 most haunted places in Vietnam, where terror and mystery reach their peak. Haunted place number 2, Ho Xuan Huong, Xuan Huong Lake, Dalat. Next, we return to Dalat, a city already known for its ghostly tales, to visit Xuan Huong Lake, a tranquil yet deeply unsettling spot. This man-made lake, named after a famous Vietnamese poet, is not only a place of natural beauty, but also one shrouded in paranormal activity. Legend has it that during the French colonial era, a young bride-to-be was abandoned by her fiancé on her wedding day. Devastated, she walked into the lake and drowned herself. To this day, it is said her spirit lingers, searching for closure. Fishermen and joggers around the lake often recount chilling experiences. Some have seen a spectral woman dressed in white, her veil trailing in the wind as she silently glides across the surface of the water. Others have heard faint cries and sobs emanating from the lake in the dead of night. One particularly chilling account comes from a cyclist who stopped to rest by the lake. He described seeing a pale, ghostly hand emerge from the water, beckoning him closer. Paralyzed with fear, he fled and didn't look back. Adding to its eerie reputation are frequent fogs that roll in at dusk, veiling the lake in an ethereal mist. Locals avoid the area after sunset, fearing encounters with the restless spirit of the bride. Ho Xuan Huong may be a serene escape by day, but by night, its beauty transforms into an ominous presence. Whether these tales are born of imagination or genuine encounters, this haunting spot has left an indelible mark on Dalat's supernatural lore. Haunted place number 1, the Hua Lò Prison, Hanoi Hilton, Hanoi. And now, we arrive at the most infamous haunted site in Vietnam. the Hue A prison, chillingly nicknamed the Hanoi Hilton. Built in 1896 by the French to detain political prisoners, this facility is steeped in suffering and anguish, making it a hotspot for ghostly activity. The prison housed thousands of Vietnamese revolutionaries under brutal conditions, many of whom died within its walls. During the Vietnam War, it also held American POWs, adding another layer of torment to its grim history. Today, much of the prison has been transformed into a museum, but visitors and staff alike report unnerving experiences. Sudden cold drafts, disembodied whispers, and shadowy figures moving into corners of dimly lit cells are common occurrences. One of the museum guides shared an unsettling experience. While locking up for the night, she heard footsteps echoing behind her. When she turned, no one was there, but a cell door that she had locked moments earlier was wide open. Visitors have also reported feelings of intense sadness and dread upon entering certain areas, particularly the guillotine room, where countless executions took place. Some claim to have seen apparitions of prisoners in chains, silently staring back at them before disappearing into thin air. Hue A prison stands as a testament to the resilience of those who suffered here, but it is also a chilling reminder of the horrors of the past. Whether you visit out of historical interest or a curiosity for the paranormal, one thing is certain: the spirits of Hue A are not easily forgotten. And there you have it, our countdown of the top 10 most haunted places in Vietnam. Each of these locations carries its own stories of sorrow, mystery, and the unexplained, leaving us to wonder about the lingering presence of the past. If you've ever visited any of these places or live near one, we'd love to hear your experiences. Do you believe the spirits of Vietnam's haunted sites are still with us? Or are these just stories meant to keep us intrigued? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to 101 Ghost Stories for more bone-chilling tales from around the world. Until next time, stay curious, stay brave, and beware of the shadows lurking just out of sight.